Okay, let me start again because I'm an idiot. So I entered studio and it says go live and it puts me to the next thing. And I'm like talking to you guys as if you were there. And because the phone's so far away, I can't read the chat on that. So I thought, okay, I'll use the old phone. And I'm wondering, why is it not letting me in? Why is it not letting me in? Well, it's not letting me in because it's still not letting me in. I am live, right? I see Val's here. There we go. There we go. See Val's here. Now we're gonna turn the volume way down on that. Linda's here from Michigan. Val's here. Warren. Tia Fane. Hello, darling. Nora's here. So it's been a day. So I am in the dining room. You can see the dollhouse behind me. I'm going to show you where one of the kitties is hiding, maybe. Oh, two of you are up there. Who's up there? Hi. Oh, it's Gimli. That's Aragorn. So you have Arwen with you. Well, that's a switch. Let's get this lined back up. So, hi, Kathy. Oh, that's right. This chair is not going to move. So I think I need to tilt that down a little bit so you can see more of what I'm trying to work on, maybe. Well, we'll figure it out. It's been a day. So, welcome to this overstuffed house. The person with the hoarded house inheriting things from hoarders, and it's all now here, which is why the house is overstuffed. And if you hear noises thumping around in the background, Aragorn is playing with a toy, his favorite toy, because it will keep him away from the doctor, who is somewhere underneath the table. And we kind of like accidentally found her hidey hole. And so now he's, excuse me, sir, that's my leg. Favorite toy. Ready? Get it. So he, to stop him from following her in there, which will just cause a fight, I kept pulling him back, and he finally found something else to do, play with a toy. So, but it's been a busy day. Paul reminded me that, I have 2 weeks to get all that pile of stuff back from Billy Flipper's warehouse because he's moving to Florida. And I should have put the link in the description because I think he still has a huge sale going on his eBay store. So I made a list of all the stuff that's got to get done so that we're trying to find room because it all has to come back into this house. And it's all going to come back on Tuesday because Mike went, no, let's just do it all in one day. So he's renting a U-Haul van. And Tuesday, we're going to bring all of it back here. Yeah. That pile was 7 foot tall at spots and 6 foot deep and 6 foot wide. I think there's a video that showed it. It's a big pile. But a lot of stuff has gone out of here, which is great. And tonight stuff's gone out. We filled Michael's trunk just about all the way. I think there's room for one more little box of stuff for Goodwill, including a shoe rack that I found in here, which is going. We found a foam sleep pad for when you're camping, and these cats have torn it up. It was old anyway, and it's like that egg crate foam, but it's really dense. And these guys apparently have been using it as a scratching post for quite a while when they were hiding in here when they first got out of the playroom. So that's out in the trash. So we have filled up an outdoor trash bag, a kitchen trash bag, um, and one entire trash can that's all out at the curb because tonight's trash night. And that's all good. That's all good. We've gotten into the kitchen closet and found there was room in there to take the boxes of books that had been in the kitchen closet, in front of the door of the kitchen closet, and get quite a bit of them into the closet. And so if there's anything tall and narrow that we bring home Tuesday, we still have a little room in there. So we have some space in there, and unfortunately space in front of the closet where some might go. And the bulk is going to end up going into the playroom. Haven't started out there yet because I wanted to make sure I could get to this, because hopefully this is leaving next week to go to my sister's. So my plan is to get the end of the table all cleared, and wait till you see the bizarre stuff I found. And then we'll get that moved over here, and there's a oil lamp, which I cannot leave here. I don't want to risk the kittens knocking it over. So this will go probably upstairs to Mike's room on top of a wardrobe, a freestanding wardrobe. Really? And that the cats don't get up on. So, excuse me, sir. The poster is not a chew toy. But this will give me room to have, some boxes there. And, but I'm not willing to fill up the chair here. I thought there was still room on the other side of the table along here, and there's not. There's a carpet. There's a wool carpet. And oddly, one corner of the carpet has this little lead circle hooked to the very corner with a wire through it, but I don't see anything. I'll have to look at it with a magnifying glass, but I mean, because the thing's only this teeny little thing. So I don't really see anything, any maker's mark or anything, but it's a good, you could tell from the edges and stuff, it's a beautiful hand-done wool carpet. And just was, I have that one, and I have one that may fit in the hallway there. Excuse me, sir. Sir. Aragorn, that's your own head. But the rugs came from a clean out. So I was given the rugs, and they're nice rugs, so. Sir, can you not bump the cat? Don't do it. Leave the doctor alone. Leave her alone. No. Leave the doctor alone. Can't you go to sleep like those two? I deliberately fed you guys cat food, canned cat food, so that you'll all take a nap. And you're the only one up and around. Everybody else has gone off and gone sleeping. Now, where are you going? Yes. I tried. So, who else? Oh, Lisa Marie Presley has passed away. I have not seen any of the news today. Hi, Linda Punky. She's here tonight. Yes, a whole new wealth of things to climb on to get to that window. Oh, joy. I'm trying to finish up my hot chocolate before it gets completely cold. No. Leave that alone. No. Just stay there. Don't stick your head in the glass. Has to investigate. It's been like this all afternoon. One or another would try to come in while we were moving stuff. So for a while there, when Mike and I were taking a lot of stuff outside, we had so much stuff piled up, and we stuck them in the basement. They were in the basement, allowed to play for so long, and they knew we were doing stuff that after about an hour and a half, you could hear them grabbing at the door. Yeah, you knocked it over. Don't worry, it's just plastic. It's a plastic um, 3 drawer set for storage, and that's not a great place for it, of course. But right now, it's a place for it. Come on, come across, sir. Come across. You have to leave because I have to put the baby back together. I may just send the baby to Pat Doodles. I don't know what it's worth or anything, but uh, she could probably restore it and clean it up properly. So, sir, I can't see my chat. Your butt's in the way. So, so as some of you know, and those who are watching this on the replay that don't, my challenge this year, and now that we know what my new normal. It took over a year to know my new normal and how far I could go with my back. So you're gonna lay on what I'm gonna show them. Thank you, darling. Love of my life. Not the most bubbly jar. Not he. What was the one? He's not the most bubbly beer in the case. That was a new one that I heard, as opposed to the knife in the drawer or the dimmest bulb in the pack. Yeah. Aragorn's he's a doll. He is definitely a doll, but he always wants to be, sometimes, some days, wants to be right where he can see everything that's going on, whether you want him there or not. I should be happy because usually he's climbed into my arms. Last night I was trying to do stuff to create. I have 3 half-finished invoices yesterday from last night because I had him in my arms because I kept putting him down. So he came across the pile, hopped onto my shoulder, and went down in front of me. He was not taking no for an answer. So while I had him, well, then Gimli gets jealous. So now I have both of them, and it's all I can do to hold them because together they're a lot of weight. So hello, Bonnie. I am doing mostly well. My back let out one good tinge where it went, hey, hello. And that was a spot that was from the pinched nerve because of how low it was. I knew it was from the nerve. So my back is getting tired. So I made sure I went and I had made a point of taking my naproxen today. So I did that like I'm supposed to. But I made sure I got some turmeric tea and took 2 Tylenol, and then I've been very careful about what I pick up. The problem has come in if I bend too much. Now I have Michael today and I have Michael tomorrow, and then he's got to work on Saturday. So he has done a huge amount of the bending and most of the lifting. We started at 2:00 this afternoon, and it had become a catch-all out in the doorway. So we got through everything that was out there. There are huge piles of laundry. We filled a contractor bag, which for an outdoor trash bag, these are even bigger. And he took that to the basement. And that's just clothing we found. And wait till you see some of what we found, because I have some tucked aside. So, but what I want to know is, because we're all doing this together, we're all working together on our own projects. Who has managed today to get even an inch further forward? One small step forward on whatever you've been working on. I saw in the comments there were a couple of people who, somebody had they also had a trunk full for Goodwill. No, that's not what I want. I want to see the comments. Can I not see the comments while I'm live? I can see the live chat, but it doesn't look like I can get in to see the actual comments that were left. Oh, no, because the comments were left on the preview, sort of, from earlier today when I showed the zombie ate my brains Santa. So, because I wanted to let you know that I would be. And I really wasn't sure about this, Santa. But, we all encourage each other around here. But I know somebody had said that they had gotten a little bit done, which is great, even if it's one box, even if it's one drawer. Sometimes it's just even if you get a window cleaned. This window, I'm not going to tell you how dirty that window was. But the storm window's down now. The storm window's clean on the inside. The big window's clean on the inside. The top is not because I couldn't reach up there. But that's all progress. And some days, progress, that might be all it is. That might be all it is. You just get one little task done. But if it's a little task that's towards your overall goal, that's a great thing. They talk about New Year's resolutions. The problem with resolutions is like, well, I resolved to do this, but you don't tend to make a plan of all the little steps needed to get there. But if you make a goal, we usually are taught to think about it differently. And if you have a goal, then you're usually taught to, okay, what do I have to do to attain that goal? What little steps do I have to do to reach that goal? And for some people, they can just do 5 bullet points and boom, there's your goal. For some of us, like emptying this house, if I made bullet points, you'd have a line of bullet points that could reach from here to the moon, because there's so many tasks to do to get this house to where I want it to be, to where it's back to being a livable, decorated, functioning home. And like I said, the bullet points for that could go from here to the blasted moon. So I don't make too many bullet points. I make like this. This is my list. This is it. There's a date of when it has to all be done by. And it all helps the overall big goal of the house, which is a goal that's not going to be finished in 1 year. But this is a smaller goal. This is literally up to that Tuesday morning we are picking stuff up from Paul. So this literally has stuff for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and the date I have to be done by the end of the day on Monday. And I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There were 13 things on this list of these little bullet points. Some of them had question marks after them. One of those I already decided no, because I thought about putting some of the boxes like under the card table that's in the Black Hole Challenge room. And then I thought, no, because all this stuff came out of there, that completely defeats the purpose. The whole purpose of moving that stuff out was to have time to get an office created. And when I got hurt, that completely stopped working on that room. But to put anything back in there, to me, would be too much of a step backwards. So I crossed that one off. No boxes, nothing from this. Come hell or high water, nothing is going to go back into that Black Hole Challenge room, because that would, to me, just gnaw at me that somehow I failed. And I'm not having that. So that room is off limits. Of course, the bedrooms are also off limits. Every other room, well, the bathrooms, of course, are kind of a given. Though I did have stuff piled up in the powder room at one point, but the bathrooms are kind of off limits too. But everywhere else, we'll find room. I thought maybe I haven't been to the 3rd floor to check that one. I have kitchen closet on here, and actually I can cross that one off because Mike took care of that one for me and got stuff in there, and there's room for a little more, and then there's room in front of the kitchen closet, coat closet, where we could put some boxes if we need to. So that's that one crossed off. That's awesome. live chat, 11 p.m., and I have an R for Thursday. Well, here we are. Look at that. Another bullet point. Yay. Pack an invoice. That was Wednesday, but the invoicing didn't quite happen. Nettie was the only one that got her invoice because I got interrupted. And I don't know that that was literally just for Wednesday, because I don't know that I will, in order to make all this stuff fit. Remember, that is a huge pile of stuff. It is 6 by 6. It's all boxes, and some sections of it are 7 foot tall. I'm 5'3". So I don't know that there will be more packing and invoicing until that stuff is here. I'm not sure that will have any more. Clear the entrance to the dining room. That's a half crossed off because I have entrances plural. So we've got, and if this is what you need to do, break your bullet points down even more, front and back. I can't cross the whole thing off, but I can cross off front. So this is what I have found extremely helpful. And years ago, I used to help people downsize that were going into retirement communities. And this was the kind of thing I used to tell them is make it a short bullet point list. Know what your big goal is, but pick a couple of days that, okay, I'm going to work on this, even if it's just for the day. And don't make it too huge. The only reason this has all this on it is because this is for several days. And none of them are tiny jobs. Honestly, the smallest job on here was the kitchen closet, because I already knew the closet itself was 90% empty. So that was the easiest one on here. Now there is a bag of concrete that needed to go out to the trash, which didn't yet. That's in the kitchen in a corner. And if we get that out of here, there might be room back there for maybe 2 or 3 smaller kind of boxes. So we'll deal with that in the morning if we have to, because Mike will have to lift that up. That's not one I can do. And Mike did clean the stove, because that was the one thing of cleaning. I'm like, that thing is driving me crazy. It's got to get done. Mike took care of that. List 5 on eBay or Etsy hasn't happened yet. But again, that one is low priority. If I get time where I need to just rest my back and I've got some pictures in my phone, if I can just get them thrown up onto eBay or Etsy, that's great. If not, I'm not worrying about that. It's a low priority for what this next few days goal is. So you have to think about that and be realistic. How are my sink drains in this old house? I only have problems with one drain, and that's the back bathroom. But Mike shaves there. And he's notorious for not taking a piece of toilet paper and cleaning all the hair up. So I think that's what's clogging up the drain. So that was the only one. And there's no, like, for us to have hot water to that bathroom, we have to go to the basement, because that's where the only shutoffs are. There's no shutoffs up in the little door in the closet that gets you to the pipes. There's no shutoffs there. So you have to go all the way to the basement to turn the water on for that bathroom. There's shutoffs underneath for the sink, but it's not the sink that leaks. It's the shower part, the pipes to the shower. So, because there's not usually hot running water except when we get showers at the sink, I think that's not helping, because that gives time for gunk to build up in the drain. So other than that, that's the only one. That's the only problem for the sink drain in this old house. It's the only one that's an issue. Now, a lot of them, underneath the kitchen sink is PVC, but the other sinks are all old metal drains. I'm trying to think. I think all of them Well, not the powder room. That's still the one my brother and my dad put in because it used to be a 1930s sink that hung on the wall. And Phyllis decided that when they bought their house years and years ago, they didn't like the cheap cabinets that were in the house. So they just decided that they were coming to mom's house, and they got rid of the sink that hung on the wall, and they got rid of the sink in the front bathroom. Mom refused to do it in the back bathroom because by having the space under that sink, because it has the chrome legs, that's where all the towels would go because that's the only bathroom with a shower in it. And you would take your shower and you toss the towel in the sink. And then every week somebody'd help mom carry it down the basement and they'd run the load of towels and carry it back up. So she was just not, if you put a cabinet, then where are you putting the laundry? So TML, hello. So that's the plan. And so far I've managed to stick to this. Now what one of them I wrote, I don't quite know. Oh, pantry, kitchen, windows, corner. I know what that one is. For a second I looked at it and went, I don't know what I wrote. Now I need a safe place to stick this. I can't twist that far to the left. We'll stick that right next to the Windex. Make sure the pen is shut. Now, in the preview, I found this box. Now, there used to be a Sega Genesis game called Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I love that game. I know that I got up to the third from the last level and could never quite beat the game. But I found Santa. Santa looks like somebody ate his brains because they burned his head. It doesn't say who. And in that kind of a little preview clip to remind everybody I was going to be live tonight, I asked, should I put him in the sale next week? And a lot of people said yes. So the zombified Santa will be in next week's live sale. Same time as usual, 11 p.m. on Thursday night. But in the box with Santa, now Santa doesn't have, he's got the remains of a cardboard label. But in the box with Santa are this little tree, but this tree has nothing to tell me who made it. But there's this Santa and this little guy. Now, this little Santa looks a little faded, but I think he's pink wax. And then there's this little choir boy. Now, these three all have their thing on it that say girly. So they're all girly candles. So they will be probably an offer up. Actually, they'll probably all be an offer up, even the crazy Santa next week. So I don't want to lose that. So that has to stay. And that's going to be for next week. I have to put this back together. This thing needs a real good cleaning. The clothes, I need to see if I can get the clothes off and wash it, but I may just send it to Pat Doodles. It is called Baby So Real. If batteries are not installed correctly, Baby So Real will not laugh or cry. Well, I don't know if she will anyway, because one of the batteries had corroded. I had to take it apart, and it corroded on the spring end, though, and not on the main contact, so that might be okay. But it's made by Toy Biz, 1995. And so I know, like, the face moves. I remember the arms moved. There was somebody my mom sewed for who was a nurse. We called her Nurse Ethel to differentiate from the other Ethel that we knew. And mom made a lot of, she collected dolls, and mom made some really cool Christmas dresses for her other dolls. And she had wanted mom, where'd it go? She'd wanted Mom to make some for the baby, for this baby doll, and then we never heard from her again. But I know she had health issues. There is a teeny little spring that goes on this screw. And so we never heard back from her. And it wasn't long after that that my mom passed away. And, but I know Nurse Ethel had been in and out of the hospital a couple of times. And then after that, we never heard anything. So I I'm not going to screw that too tight because that screw is pretty crappy. I think it's made of lead because just trying to get it out, it was so tight and it was starting to strip. Now, the fun part, I stuff this thing back in baby's booty here because she got a little Velcro there and a little Velcro here, but it's been on this dining room table just kind of collecting dust, and everything in here has been collecting dust. I mean, Mom's been gone. Come the beginning of May, it'll have been, oh, come on, it'll have been 16 years that Mom's been gone. You can see she's all dusty. But I just thought this was a cool doll because the arms move and the mouth moves and the eyes move. And it was really, really, you can see the face. They're really cool little dolls. We're going to stick her over there. And can you not chew on the poster? I don't know what the poster is. I don't know what this is either. This is empty and it looks like it's been ripped. So this is gonna go in the trash bag here. Welcome to the 80s. This is a shirt. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but the texture, it actually has a pattern to make it kind of look like alligator skin. I was so surprised that it has a signature collection of Strawbridge and Clothier in it. And this is not one I can just throw in the washing machine. If it's going to get cleaned at all, and a lot of these metallics, you can't dry clean. There's a lot of heat that happens in dry cleaning and it will melt them. So this will have to be hand washed, and I'll just hang it up to dry. And then I'll see if that's worth throwing on the eBay. I've got this was, I think, for a show. I've got this huge piece of green moire fabric in this sea green. I'm pretty sure this was for a very large table for the gondoliers at Arden Singers, or the one, I think the one at Arden Singers. And I think it's big enough to fit this dining room table. So I'm going to hang on to that because it's hard to, it's very hard to find anything big enough for this table. But the fabrics I've found, look at, I think this was meant to be like a shirt for Mike because he really liked Hawaiian shirts, but this one's Egypt. There's pyramids in the background. One problem with a lot of this stuff is the dust factor, is because this room has been left to sit for so long. So a lot of the fabric, it's either the top layer is dusty or it just smells like dust. It doesn't, not moldy, not musty, just dusty. There is a different smell. Oh, I should put this back together. This is the coolest little screwdriver. It is a vintage screwdriver. And did I already lose the other part? Uh-oh, where'd it go? I did lose part of it because all this fits into the big one. And you've got that one. And then if you unscrew this, you've got another teeny, teeny, tiny one that's small enough to do your glasses. And that screws in there. And then that one slides in there. And this is the lid for all of it. that goes onto that one, and then there's an even bigger one that goes over. And you may have knocked it on the floor when you came by. You gonna leave us now? You're bored? Oh, go on. I will find it. It may be that the kitten. Hello, Erin and Cameron. Hello, hello. Oh, I'm annoyed that I lost that now because I don't want to stick it in my pockets. No, didn't stick it in my pocket. So we've got the girly. We're going to hang on to the girly. We're going to put that box down there. We know this is going to the live sale. I have this massive amount of fabric. I have no idea. I have no idea what it was from, but it's hemmed at the top, like it has a rod for a curtain, and then it's hemmed at the bottom. I need to find something to start putting all this fabric in. Found this too. This is a piece, and it's a shame because like part of it has faded, but you can, I don't know if that's, I honestly don't know if that's the fade. Like this is the back, but it's so perfect that I think it might have been made this way because it's too perfect. But it's silk. It's a silk brocade. And all this is little raised stitching. I don't know where the devil she got it. So honestly, I mean, we're going to see some massively cool fabric sales coming up. But I need to be able to have the entire dining room table in order to be able to do that, simply because I need to be able to measure everything out, and I have nowhere I could lay fabric out to measure it. So let's see about getting this done. Fill this little box, because this little box can go in the top of the kitchen closet to get it out of the way. This is a sheer metallic. Like I said, but oof, you can smell the dust coming off this stuff. And then I wanted to put these in here and not lose them. I already looked it up. I think the date I found on the one piece of fabric was 1999. Pokemon fabric. But, you know, you can see where you can see the discoloring from being exposed to the dust. So sadly, I would have to, we got John Deere fabric. I'd have to wash everything and then iron it. There's the other one, Pokemon. Pokemon is so big right now, especially for the vintage stuff. Part of the stuff that's hiding at Paul's is Mike's vintage Pokemon toys from when he was a little kid, because he will just love it. And I found this. This was my favorite dress. My mom made this. You could tell it's very 80s. It's got this kind of a, well, it's actually kind of from a 1940s pattern, but it's got a little bit of a sweetheart necklace. But you could tell like she put the puffy sleeves on this. But I ain't fitting in this. Not for a while. I don't know why she had it. I don't know, because I couldn't find anything wrong with it. And a lot of the clothes I found in here was because there was, you know, missing a button or something needed. Like there's a vintage slip that needs new elastic. That's why we ended up with such a massive bag of clothing that's got to get washed. I found stuff that was from Michael. I thought I kept one to show you guys, but I don't know if I did or not. And it is the tiniest little boy's vest. It must have been for him when he was like a year old. But it was in here. Why? Don't know why. So we're going to create a laundry pile under that chair. Oh my goodness, I know what this is. Okay, so do you remember was it last week? Yeah, it was at last week's sale. I had a little vest for a little boy that was St. Patrick's Day fabric. This is the little tailcoat. She never lined it. She always made these things quick and then didn't line them. But this was the little vet that this is what the vest was for. Is he was dressed up like a little leprechaun. I don't know why, but that's what it was for. So just don't know what I'm gonna find. I found this and it still had the original price tag with it, but I'm gonna wash this. This was it's a pillowcase. This should have been in the bag of stuff for eBay and it wasn't. And yep, zippers, not like she needed to replace the zipper. Zipper's still there. Zipper still works. Oh, I see what happened. The tacking stitch to keep that inside is off. The stitch popped. That's why it's in here. Well, I can do that and then I can wash it and I can get that on Etsy. You're back. We'll come forward. I found, now I have to look this up. Does anybody play bridge? This is actually so that you can play bridge alone. I've never seen the like. Master real four-handed contract bridge by yourself with the Auto Bridge Solitaire Bridge Game Basic Course. It's got this whole booklet, but this is what it does. I don't know what any of that is. North bids, west bids. I don't know because I don't know how to play bridge. But I know bridge stuff can fetch quite the high price on eBay. And I actually have from somebody else recently, I have a suitcase and it's a special like competition set for bridge players. And I have to figure out, it's so heavy. I have to figure out some shipping way to get the weight of it because it's so heavy that I only have a little scale and I'm afraid to put something that heavy on that scale. I'm afraid I'll break it. So let's see. What do we got here? We have cat hair all over my screen. Gravity Goods. New games out, Scarlet and Violet. Before that, it was Legends of Arceus. Want to see something cool 70s? Who knows what it is? Who remembers these? These were awesome because, you know, you could hang them on your bike on the handlebar, which is what I did, and take your music with you everywhere. They open up this way. It is a Toot-a-Loop by Panasonic. It's a radio. It's a radio. I pray that the batteries are not still in there. Which side had the batteries? Now, mind you, it's only AM. It's only AM radio because this was back in the day before FM. Battery open. Battery not opening. Battery thing not cooperating to open because the screwdriver's too small. These suckers, the last time I looked on eBay, these ridiculous little, I think they call them donut radios. These ridiculous little things, oh God, 10 years ago, were fetching $70 if they still worked. And I could not. I knew I still had mine, but I didn't know where. Could never find it. Well, I don't know how it ended up in here, but it was in here under a chair. I don't know how. Just don't know how. But boy, that was a big surprise to find that. I'm so happy to have found that. I'll be even happier when I can find out how I lost my screwdriver that quick when I literally just had it on the table. I think you knocked it down on the floor, young man. And with all the carpet and fabric, I wouldn't have heard it. It is on the floor. That's your doing. Can you get out of the box? He's sitting in the box. Oh, no, that's the one. That's the old one I was looking for earlier. It's not as old as this one. Nope. Oh, the house ate it. The house ate it. That's all it is. The house ate it. Let's see what else we got. Oh, who remembers being a little kid with these aprons that wrapped all the way around you and tied in the back? And they'd have a string that went around your back. Wow. I'm guessing she was going to put new binding around the top. She would never throw any of that out. She would redo, because that's what you did, Depression era baby. You would remake it, reuse it, find some other way. That's what you would do. Hey, sir, can you? You're in my box. Ugh, come here, boy. You're in the box that I need to put that in. Yes, you. What? What? You can go if you don't go on the box. Okay? Can you not go in the box? I'm trying to fill the box. There's not room up there for you. Yeah, I know Gimli's up there, but your sister's up there. Gimli's sleeping with somebody else? Is that the problem? Oh, poor baby. Suck it up, Cupcake. Go. This is a cool piece of fabric. Oh. Okay. It's all cut out to be a tank top. Guessing that it was probably going to be for Michael at some point. I find so much half-finished sewing stuff. And then I kept finding like bits of tissue paper. Hey, out of the, no, go. Can't you sleep on the stuff that's laundry? Sleep on the stuff that's laundry. Mike locked you out, didn't he? That's why they're all down here, I think, because Mike has locked them out of his room for the last couple of days. So there is a pile of magazines that I want to double check because there's Christmas ones. I found an October 1999 Reader's Digest. That sucker is definitely, I mean, it's in great shape on the inside, but that sucker is going into the recycling. Big pile of recycling out there. I found this and I was surprised because you just don't find vintage baby fabric, little kids fabric. Look at the pattern on this. Isn't that cool? And there's no fading to it. It's not a sheet. There's a selvage edge. There's no sign of any stitching of it having been rounded off. And I mean, it's a lightweight, so it probably was meant for little stuff, because some of the stuff for the fabric for vintage baby stuff was very lightweight cottons. Because I've seen the stuff like my oldest brother, they got married in 47 and he was born in 48, and Phyllis came along I think in 1950, and I might have those dates off by a year. They are 16 and 14 years older than me. But I've seen some of the baby clothes that are still in the attic, and it's all incredibly thin. Some of it sheer baby fabric, which is really quite surprising to me how thin it all is. What was that? Okay. Oh, I wonder. So it's a strap, but that's a vintage metal pieces. They are not the same as modern ones, not at all. And this is wool. I think this is the strap for the vintage bathing suit that's in the drawer. It's in the drawer of the metal filing cabinet that's a pattern filing cabinet that's in the living room. She kept saying she had the straps. I think we found one. Well, dang. Well, dang. Now, if we find the other one, be golden. But that's the weird part about here. Why it is such a treasure hunt is because I find stuff in one room that is nowhere near what it goes to. So I don't know what was going on the last couple of years for my mom, but and like this is simple lining fabric. Not a big scrap, but for her, big enough for a doll. So she would save it all. Mike and I can't tell you how many pieces we threw away that were hung over, because these chairs have this piece where it sticks up, and there were bunches of them hung over the edge of the chair that's over there that the ottomans are sitting on. And she would save this cut off selvage edge in case you needed them to tie something up. So if you needed to tie up, a plant in the yard, like a rose bush or something, you tie it up with you tie it up with piece of selvage fabric. You needed to tie a box shut, you tied it up with that. Anything you needed to tie it up with. Most people use string. No, yeah, no, honey, no. You cannot have the box. No, you can't have the box. No. He's still trying. Don't go after the doctor. You know what? Let's put this moire in here. And that will fill this box. And then I can shut it. Maybe. Sort of. Possibly. It's kind of hard to do this on your knee and not like on a table. So, there. All shut up. And then that is going to block the way that I won't be able to get out. I don't want you on top of that. We're going to put that in that box. No, don't do it. We're going to actually sit those on top of it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, there's the rest of that black fabric, which I stuck in here, which I just shut. There. Oh, how many years do you think this house is going to take me? I mean, I get it. It didn't get emptied. I mean, it didn't get filled in a day. It didn't get filled in a year. But sometimes I wonder if I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing this. I'm 57. I don't mind being a reseller at 67, but I don't want to still be emptying the house at 67. I don't want this to take me 10 years. I have to look up when I started my channel because the 2-year mark, I think, is coming up because I know I wanted to have a 1-year anniversary party and it didn't happen because I got hurt. And I got hurt last May, or well, in May, come May, towards the end of May, I think it'll be. Is it May or March? My brain's just too tired. But it's been almost 2 years since I hurt my back, and that really kind of, the channel had started, not that I don't think I'd had a full year of the channel yet when that happened, and it kind of was stopped the channel in its tracks. So here is a doily that is just ridiculous. All this little stuff just twists up. Nobody, you'd have to starch the daylights out of it. So you know what I did with it? No, it's got some marks in the center now and have to get washed. But I did a show once, and it was like a Dickens era, and they used to wear these little things on their heads. So I just did this, and I put 2 bobby pins in, and so it was perfect. It was perfect. Oh my goodness, the stuff we do for theater. Oh, we'll throw that away. That's rusty. Okay, now I need to turn some stuff around, and then I'll read the chat again. We've got this. We don't want to lose the girlies. We're going to put the girly box up there. I got this. Hey, what are you doing? That's my butt. What are you doing? Where are you? Look, you. Go to bed. Go to bed. I took your bed away. Go to bed. Oh my goodness. So I think maybe it's German, but this is from 1918. Ow. It's got some warping and mildew issues. The page just fell out. But if anybody can read that, oh, it's backwards, isn't it, for you guys? Is it backwards for you guys? If anybody can translate that, by all means, let me know. What fell out? Page 24. Like I said, it definitely had gotten wet, but look at the lithographs. They're gorgeous. But it's definitely got warping to the pages. And but I'd like to know what it's actually called so that I could try to look it up. The worst one has the damage is the center. You can see where it pulled some of the color off. It did it down here too, where they must have stuck together. But I can't get over the oh, this one too. But the colors, even though, in spite of all that, the colors are gorgeous. I found yet another pack of stationery. I must have been using this for a while. I just found out. See the little mouse? If I can stop pushing it. See the little mouse? That is House Mouse Designs. I used to get their catalog, their artist, their stuff is showing up all over the place. I didn't know that they still existed. So I found them. They actually have an online store now that were House Mouse Designs. I'm so glad to find out they're back. Now, we have When the craft sale comes up, I found a box of feathers, most of them still in their package. The packages are open, and then there's a bunch of loose ones. I will make sure, because dust mites can sometimes do damage to feathers, but usually it's not the dust mite, there's a mite that will attack old feathers. But if it's in a box, usually you're pretty safe. I will check them, and so they will go aside for a craft sale. This is something. So I decoupaged this. Aren't they cute? Peter Rabbit, Squirrel Nutkin. Thought it would make a great little bench. The only problem is, can you see the yellowing? Honestly, I did not know when I made my decoupage stuff that over time, polyurethane turns yellow or an orangey color, but it turns color. And it didn't take long for that to happen. So now, and you can't take it off without destroying the images, because I thought it'd make a cute little bench for little toddlers. I think this might have actually been sold as a window box. I'm not sure. But it might end up becoming a window box, because I can just drill holes through the bottom and then see about mounting it out front, because I think there might be a second one here, which if there is, then I can do it to the two front windows of the house. But that was another find. I didn't think that was out here. I found my mom's sewing basket that I got her, and this one is full of stuff for the dolls. It's a lot of little bitty stuff, little bitty hooks and eyes. But one thing I thought, where are they, that I thought you might get a kick out of seeing, there's some vintage buttons. Here they are. In an old plastic thing from Walt Disney World. So when you see buttons, you know, they're shank. Now that's the back. But the front, where's the camera? It's polished steel. Where's one that's really nice? Like, but look at them. Now, I'm going to have to look up the date of these suckers. There's quite a few of them in here. And they're old. Because the top part is, this top part is separate from the back, yet the back matches the pattern. But if you look closely, there's little teeny clip pieces that hook them together, that they put it on top and then folded all those little pieces over. So they are quite old. And I'm going to have to do some more research. I sold a bunch of buttons a long time ago to a place in New York City. That's all they dealt with was buttons. And it helped pay for me to go to London in 1988. I also found this. Whoa! I got it. I got it. And I only lost 2 things. So that's heavy. But this is silk and it's embroidered. And she, I guess, I suspect, I'm not going to pull on it, but I suspect whatever it's from was dry rotted, or parts of it were. And so she kept all the little sections, there's a bunch of them here, of embroidery that she could, I absolutely love this one. It's the dragon. So, and honestly, I can't tell. I think this is the back. So yeah, so that's the front. Most of them are little florals, but there's this one with a bird. And I don't know what she thought she was going to do with them, because there's another one. There's a tail on that guy. But she's just saved them. Look, there's another. This way, I think. But there's a bunch of them. It's another tree. More flowers. Another flower. Oh yeah, you can see, like, see how this is all shredding this way? That's from dry rot. So the fabric they were on, yeah, see, look at how it's all pulled apart. That's what happens. It literally, look, it just literally just ripped more in my hand. So the silk is dry rotting. It had dry rotted. God, look at that. Look at that. So I think what I will try to do is see if, look at the bamboo. She just would have saved them, because that was just so her, and then figured out what to do with them later. I think they would be fabulous framed in little frames, and then I could sell them if they were protected in a frame. Ooh, ow, ow, foot cramp. Ow, ooh, you're gonna foot cramp. I've been getting them a lot lately. They're not good. Hello, Iris. I don't know what nope straight read was an answer to, but there we go. Let me stick this here so I can see the chat. What else? This was more fabric. Like I said, she kept, so this was cut off of something. There's elastic in there. But look at that piece of fabric. It's gorgeous. Probably kept, there's little scraps of it in there. Probably kept it for doll clothes. I can't lose this, because this is how I turn my computer off and on to get to the power strip. That was also how I reached the curtain. Not the curtain. The window shade, because it was all the way at the top. So we've got that. What else do we have here? Got another bag. Let's find out what this is. Well, the very faded Walmart receipt is in here. From 2004. She passed away in 2006, I think. So, oh wow. It's a halter top. So the finished thing should look like that. But there it is. There it is. Oh my goodness. And are there two of them? Because she usually bought these things in pairs. No, this is just one, I think. Oh, wait, what? It says utterly country, mother-daughter collars. But that don't, I don't see how that's a collar. Okay, I see. So That's uh I think I like my idea better to make it a halter top. I honestly think that that one may end up being one that I just sell uncut and 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 let somebody else figure it out. I don't see me oh, okay. The book was not backwards. Yeah, I could never I think it's on when you do directly on YouTube. One of them reverses and I think it's when you're directly on YouTube. Oh, well, there's no point in keeping this on there. It's should have had the yardage on it. It has nothing on it. It's probably 1 yard or a half yard. Now I could do something with that because I have panels that are navy pillows. It's the navy anchor symbol, and I found a couple more of them. And the panel was meant to be front and back, had the symbol on it. And I think I have an Air Force one in my Etsy shop right now. And we always would put a solid color on the back so that way you got two pillow panels instead of just one, and would sell them at the craft fairs. But yeah, she always looked for all this stuff. Oh, look at the Santa. A Santa tapestry piece. Wow. And it's all finished around the edge. You know what? Since we're going to have the girly candles, maybe I should put him in next week's sale too. Oh, look at this. Look at the lion. But this is we would buy, and then especially when I worked in Joann Fabrics, soft shapes. So they basically make little toys, little tiny toys. And they're all cut. They're all patterned, like the pattern for the lion is on here. And we would just make that stuff and take it to the craft shows, and this kind of stuff I know how to sew, but she never taught me how to lay a pattern out on a piece of fabric. Look, a cat duffel bag. I will make that. I might keep that. What's this one? Oh, this is some kind of doll because I see feet. What is it's huge. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is one panel. What is it? Hang around snowman. Oh. Oh, he's a biggin. He's a biggin. See, this is why I want my dining room table back. Because I want to be able, this is where everything always got laid out and cut out. And then her sewing machine was out in the playroom. One of the granddaughters got the sewing machine. And and Mike's is portable. Yeah, all of this is just panels, all panels. Southwestern sweatshirt jacket. So it gave you what you needed to put the panels down the front and on the cuffs to make it look Southwestern. And dreamscapes and dream spinners did a lot of these. This is a Christmas one. What's this last one? Oh, he's a Halloween one. Is he a doll? Harvest Handyman by Leslie Beck. Oh yeah, if it's by Leslie Beck, it's a doll. I love it. I have sold all the stuffed dolls. I didn't have any left. And then these were remnants of trim where you could just get like the last yard on a spool. I don't think any of them do that anymore. So we're going to tuck them all back in, and I will have some sewing to do. And I found this. She'd buy ribbon. She'd buy the entire spool if she found one that wasn't even open. So we're just going to tuck all that in there. And that will go in the top of the kitchen closet in the shelf for now. Because that way, one, I will know where it is. And two, it's a little bit out of the way here, off the end of the table, so we can get that dollhouse over here, which we're not doing tonight because I'm not going to try to move that by myself. I will get Michael in here to help me move it. But, oh my goodness. I don't even know what these are for. Package is dusty. Keeps garment in place. Brassiere fastener? Okay, y'all, some of you I know are older than I am. Please explain this one to me. What is it? I don't understand. Keeps garment in place, easily fastened. Oh, sold at Woolworths. Still in the original package, made by Prim Style, still sealed. I don't know what this is for. I don't know what this is. I just don't know. It's a clippy that holds the bra strap to your shirt's shoulders. Really? Well, it looks like you actually have to sew part of it onto something. Because there's a little piece that unhooks, comes off the hook. Huh. New and different. New and different. I found a still sealed VHS of On the Town. Now, let's see. I don't know what this bag is. Ah, this bag was possibly some of mine. You know why? Because it has little crafty stuff. I would have decoupaged a butterfly on there and painted the whole thing and then decoupaged some kind of butterfly on the top because it opens up as a box. So these would have been my doing. Oh, definitely would have been my doing because, oh, look, birdhouse stickers. Oh, there's note cards in here. These are beautiful. They're roses. What else is in here? Gilded accents. Oh, this is definitely a bag of mine. So these are instant accents because these, I love these things. These are actually the type that are like stickers. And you have all these little different things, but then you get the gold foil. Other things I've had, and I had one set last week. I had a set that were these rub-on transfers. And in last week's sale, there was one, and I don't believe it sold, but it was all little butterflies, but they were kind of a frosted white because whatever you were putting them on, it was to make it look like etched glass. And I used to use those kind of things all the time. What else is in here? Handmade paper for note cards, which would have been for me for rubber stamp stuff. Oh, I haven't had any of these. Oh, I see. Frank's Nursery and Crafts. Oh, Lord, yeah. We bought a ton of stuff when they went out of business. Now, these I will have to check on eBay because they are still in the original packaging. Susan Branch. Susan Branch is one of the illustrators, the artwork I've told you about, that whether it's a note card, especially if it's packs of stickers, her stuff still sells very well on eBay. And I sold tons of, I mean, some batches of the stickers, certain ones I guess are harder to find than others. And some of them, even ones that were opened, I was selling them off for because there's usually 2 sheets in each thing, and I would match them up, and I had 2 sheets. And I know there was one of them, I forget which one it was, and I got $18. I put them up as an auction, and I got $18 for the 2 sheets. The sheets, these are the sheets, and they were out of the package. So it's kind of crazy, but she has a massive following. Oh, Mike and I were just talking about these. So I didn't know I had a second one. Back in the early days of the internet, they actually, you had to know the URL. Now you could just, and after that, then you had to put www dot whatever. You had to like type out the whole URL. Now you just put the name in and Google will find it for you. So this is a Harry Potter Gryffindor, and it is a website's address book. And it gave you everything you'd need. It's alphabetical to write in the URL, your user ID, a password clue so that you didn't have your passwords written down, and then notes. And there's room for 2 on each page. And I was just talking about this to Mike, that between he and I, some stuff, when you have financial stuff and everything, we've been hearing about friends who've passed away and nobody could get into their phone because they didn't know the password. They couldn't get into their emails because they didn't know the password. They couldn't get into their business accounts because they didn't know the password. And we were just talking about that between the 2 of us, we should have something like this where it's all written out and it's kept up to date, but it's kept with all the personal information that they would need to know if something happened to you. So I'm going to tell him that I found one. I had one, and I think it's in my desk in my bedroom. But I just think that that's not a bad idea. And none of us, we think about having our will, and what are we going to do with our stuff? And we think about those things, but we don't think about some of the details. Like, I didn't know when Terry Candelora passed away, they couldn't get a hold of me because none of her family knew who I was, and they couldn't get into her phone because it needed to have a 4-digit number passcode, and nobody knew it. So they couldn't get into her phone, and they kept it charged. They could see that somebody was calling and who it would say. And for me, she didn't have my phone number anywhere else. It was just in her phone. So there were some friends she had that they had a heck of a time, and that's how it was that she had passed away in October, and we didn't know about it until December because I had finally emailed, and they had finally gotten into that because she didn't have that. Somehow they found it somewhere. The beginning of December, they found a password or something. They managed to get into her emails, but we don't think of that kind of thing, and that can be very helpful, especially if it's banking stuff. Or like for me, I have PayPal, I have the eBay, I have stuff that should anything happen to me, Mike has to be able to settle the estate. He has to be able to get into those things, and so that's something to think about. That's why I was glad I found that, because that's something else that would be very helpful to have, and I could make sure we get that stuff written out. Oh, there's some crud in here. Just a scrap of fabric. Daffy Duck. I don't think there's anybody. Well, there's 2. There's just 2 that are whole. But if you wanted to quilt with it, I guess you could. Oh, there's some scraps in here. Oh, Santa. This was for pajamas for my niece Sarah, I think. Santa playing baseball. Because Sarah was really into baseball. All right, so we're going to sort this out. Are these blanks? I never looked. They're all different roses. Yep, they're blanks. What did I do with it? Give me this. This is the hard part of when you're going through stuff, is to stop and think and try to put like things together and put things, if you have a place for them, to then go and do it right away. These, now all that stationery is in there, and those cards will go back to the computer. I think I'll put the stickers, those stickers with them. But all this other crafting stuff, that's going to go back into the bag. Look, an itty bitty thing of Rick Rack. We're going to tuck that in there. We're going to tuck this in there. Right now, most of that stuff, I don't have a place. So if I have to just leave it in the bag and put it aside, that's okay, because we're thinking bigger goal here. Bigger goal. Oh, that is a cute border fabric. Oh, little girl dress. Laundry. Laundry pile. Now look at all the space on this table. Yay. Put that up there too. Oh, we're going to have to hide this because I don't want these little murder mittens. It's a teeny little bottle brush tree. Yeah, you're not touching that. You guys are not getting a hold of that. And oddly, I still don't have my other piece to that screwdriver set. Well, we'll put them there. And we'll put this one here. And you're laying on a piece of chalk, kiddo. There's some grit on the table. I want to get that off. My trash bag up here. So, there are two vinyl with the flannel backing tablecloths on this table. Oh my goodness. A lot of little grit. What time is it? 12:30. Okay. And I don't know. Oh, ow. That still says 85%. Good. The new phone does not use up the battery as fast as the old one did. Oh. My back part of my hip just reminded me that, hey, hello there. Now, I did find something that will be something else that will be in the sale. There was a 1947, I think it was, just one part of an encyclopedia set, and it had a lot of issues to it, so it couldn't be saved. But I did save quite a few of the pages that have pictures on it. So some of the pictures are black and white lithographs, or well, those are photos. Some of them are just a little image. Now, I don't know if you'd want to have the whole page, but what I was going to do is separate L and M, because that's pretty much what happened. That's what I was able to save from the two different books. I have all these that are M, and every one of them has either some, at least, because most of the pages had no pictures, but some of the pages had water issues. Now, M had some color ones, because that's a lithograph for marine life. But where is Marble? Marble had some cool, thought those were pretty cool. But these will be packs of ephemera. I think I just took that out of order, didn't I? Yeah, I think you guys will be able to figure it out. But there'll be packs of ephemera next week's sale. But I don't know that L. Oh, and each one, this is the end paper page. Isn't that a cool pattern? I mean, I get it, 1768 in the center might not be helpful, but there'll be one of those pages with each pack. And then this one has all these different lyre and images. But I don't know that the L one has anything color. I'm going to sneeze. There's never just one. There's never just one. Lumbering, locomotives. There's quite a few of those. I don't know that the L pack had anything that was in color. They have lithography. They have line drawings. They've got some great black and white art images. But yeah, I don't see any in color. Now, I did keep this together. The section that's on lighthouses has all the pages about all the stuff, all these pages. And like I said, there is, like, this is the last page of it. There's a lot of info here. There's not always, so many pages had no pictures, whatever. I mean, I grew up with a set of Encyclopedia Britannica from the 50s, and they were full of pictures. This, not so much. But the whole thing on lighthouses is in here. And so that'll come with the L section. I kind of thought this was cool because while this side has the images and which famous lighthouses they are, and there's some very different styles they have, but the back has the actual lights. I never knew there were so many different kinds of lights. Thank you, Nora. So one pack will be all L, the other pack will be all M's, and they'll be in the live sale. I found this. Apparently, I had bought this at some point, and they're for soap. Who remembers doing that? There would be like this liquid soap or a liquid frost, and you'd have a wax paper stencil, and you would do it on the windows. And now this is for taking soap flakes. This one tells you on the back that you could take regular everyday soap flakes to get a frosty white snowy effect by mixing ordinary soap flakes in a little water to make a heavy paste. Add food coloring for gay seasonal effect. And then you dab the end of an Avalon sponge lightly into the soap flake mixture and press stencil tightly against the window, then blot over the design, works inside or outside. And I got a kick out of this. I know exactly why I bought it, because it's got Halloween. It's got Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I'm sure that's exactly why I bought it. Now, the packaging it was in, the envelope it was mailed to me in, you see how wrinkled up it is. I'm going to have to like put that underneath some books for a while, because that I'm hanging on to and keeping, but that's got to get pressed flat. And I just thought you guys would get a kick out of seeing that. And this was the big surprise. The cats got into something, and there were a bunch of photographs underneath the chair, just loose. So I don't know whose house they're from. I haven't even touched them yet. Haven't gone through them. But look at, I can't get over this, because this, if I put a picture of Michael at the same age next to this one, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. But this picture is of Michael's father. Now, for those of you who don't know, Michael technically is my nephew, but I've had custody since he was 2. I've raised him with his mom and dad. His mom passed away when he was 7. His dad is still in his life, but my brother and his wife had issues, and they couldn't raise him. So I did, because that way it kept him within the family and around. But this is a picture of Roy. Isn't that adorable? All that platinum blonde hair. I don't know how old he is. He's maybe what, 2? Maybe? I mean, 2 years old was the age Mike was, but isn't that adorable? That hair all eventually went brown. Mike's hair is kinda like, the top of his head is still more blonde than brown, and when he was a baby it was platinum blonde for the longest time, just like his dad's had been. And I had a social worker ask me, they're like, how can you be sure he's your brother's kid? And I said, I'll show you. You should demand a DNA test. You could be raising a kid that's not part of your family. And I went, uh-huh. So the next time I went into that social worker, I took a photograph of Roy and I took a photograph of Mike when they were both a year old. And I said, here you go. Tell me which one's the father and which one's the son. She couldn't do it. She couldn't tell which one was which. And I'm like, yeah, notice that this one's black and white and this one's a color photo. This one's the dad. This one's the kid. Now tell me again on why I should need a DNA test, because he just was exactly looked like his dad. Who is this? Well, well, who is this sailor boy? Wow. Oh, okay. So, to Norbert from Chick, get well soon. So, Chick was a cousin. How that would be Chick Lush. How we're related to the Lush family, I am not sure. Stop laughing. That was their last name. Somehow we are. I know they were some kind of cousins to my mom somehow. I do remember going to Aunt Ina's and Uncle Bill's when I was real little, because most of their kids were the ages of the older siblings, and so Ina had a great sense of humor, and I think they had 10 kids. We had 6, but they had 9 or 10 kids, and when she would go anywhere and had to have a name tag, instead of putting Ina, I-N-A, she would put Ima, I-M-A, and Lush as the last name. So I'm a Lush. She was twisted. I loved her very much. I really loved her. She was something else. So, nice. Oh wow, check out that pram. Doesn't say who it is. I don't know who it is. Oh, it's a shame. This one's broken in half. Doesn't have any name on the back. Wow. Big old head, whoever it is. So, oh no, wait a minute. There's something faintly, very faintly. It just says mother. I wonder if that was Nana. Oh, it must be raining outside. I hear it dripping. Oh, okay. Fair's fair. I showed you Roy after all. Get the cat hair off of it. So, come on, little piece of cat hair. I don't want you right there. Can you guess who this little one is? Guess who? Proof that I truly was a redhead as a child. The older I get, it's gone more like brown and then blonde, which is why I keep dyeing it, because I refuse to go blonde. So I think that's first grade, because I don't think they did photos in kindergarten, but I think that's first grade. I'd kill to have that hair color back again. I would absolutely kill to have that hair color again. So all of this was like in this bag, and then in this is a metal. This is metal. It was all just stuffed in there. Hey, this is in there. You know what this was? Oh, it's got a tag. Made in 100% nylon. Made in Japan. Remember, back in the day, a lady never went outside without her hair covered. You gotta cover your hair either that way or this way. Gotta cover your head if you're going out. That is something else. Oh, they're all just like little bits tucked, or they have a shape. Sort of. So they're just kind of a little flower shape. But wow, that was in there. Let's see, is there any other old ones? I know who this is. This is my mom's younger sister. That's Ellen. That looks like a home perm. Her hair was never quite that curly. So, what do we got here? Oh, there's, okay. So, we got an envelope. Let's see, where did all this stuff come from? To Mrs. Ellen Yost from N.L. Yost Jr., 1959. Okay, so some of these pictures then must have come from my mom's parents' house, because this letter, I have some other letters from Uncle Bert. Is this when he was still in San Francisco or when he was in Japan? Oh, this is from Aunt Michiko. She wrote a letter to Nanny. And then, oh, I see. So the original letter in Japanese is here. And then, because I'm looking at this going, this is Uncle Bert's handwriting. He translated it and sent it to his mother. That's cool. That's very cool. So I will have to go through and put that with the other letters I have upstairs. Some of these, though, like, they've gotten so old that they're starting to turn color. So you can't really see them. Kodacolor print made by Eastman Kodak, week of September 18th, 1950. I don't know. That looks like a castle. I don't know where that is, but boy, that's fading out. Well, there's Aunt Michiko and Uncle Bert, but there's no date on this. But Poppy passed away when I was 10, and there's a picture of, I think that might be the nicer dog. That's my grandparents. That's Nanny and Poppy. That's Ellen Yost and Norbert Yost. So early. They made it to their 50th wedding anniversary, which is cool. Well, here's the little thing from the paper. Mr. and Mrs. Norbert Yost celebrated their 50th anniversary during the month of February. They were wished all the best from their family and friends. Yeah, you know the problem with this is it says February. The supposed wedding picture that my Auntie Ellen has doesn't have a February date on it, and it says it's down at the courthouse in Chester. Yet I have never been able to find anything online that shows that they actually got married. So I'm thinking they got married by a justice of the peace at the courthouse or by a judge who then didn't file the proper paperwork. But that's from the 50th wedding anniversary. Because there was a party with everybody. That was at their house up in Glen Olden. So that was fun. And everybody was there. So there's a couple of old Polaroids here. Let's see if I can find you some interesting pictures. Yeah, there's the one problem with Polaroids. They don't always stand the test of time. They start looking wonky. Oh, wow, I know that railing. I don't know the names of those dogs, but I know that railing. That's from my Auntie Ellen and Uncle Donald's house. They don't have that house anymore. But a lot of these are not. Trying to find cool stuff for you to see while we go through it. Okay, so you know how you saw this one, right? Doesn't she look a little similar? Except this one's my sister Phyllis. I think it's that smile. I think it's the quirky smile. Maybe the eyes a little bit, but I think it's the quirky smile. Oh, anybody who says kids aren't expensive has definitely not raised a child. Kids are expensive. First off, the clothes alone, because they grow out of it so quickly, definitely is gonna get you. Let's see. I think some of the older pictures are in the bag. Hello. What? Looking for kitties? I don't know where they all are, but those two are up there.
That looks like Gimli.
Well, that is Gimli and Arwen. I don't know where Frodo and Elrond are.
What'd you do? Come across a bunch of...
Yeah, I found them under the chair here, and they're all mixed up. But I think they're all from Nanny and Poppy's house. So I'm in the middle of my live. I decided to do it out here.
Okay.
Now there's a rare picture. There's how to spell her last name.
Ooh.
Michiko.
Okay.
Inoue. I know how to pronounce it. I never knew how to spell it. Inoue. There's an E on the end. Nikko, Japan. 1954.
Okay.
So I found a picture of Aunt Michiko and Uncle Bert with her father. And it's got on the back how to spell that last name. I need to hang on to that and get into the family tree stuff and properly spell the name. Which wedding is this? This is the wedding to Alex Blades. So this is Annie Al's second wedding. Look at all the little kids. What do you think? 1930s? Not 1940s. They were married long before the 40s. I'm thinking 1930s. It doesn't have a date on the back. Nana! Oh, wow. We just found a picture of my great-grandmother. Of Nana. Now, my sister says she can remember Nana a little bit. Steve could remember both Nana and Pop-Pop, our great-grandparents, because he was a little bit older. But then he passed away, but then Nana was still alive well into the 50s. And my sister can remember Nana, but they were all long gone before I came along. That is my great-grandmother. That's so cool to find a picture. Oh, you can see the knee busters. So, in this picture are my brother Gary, he's the one with the glasses, and my brother Roy. And Gary was the one who was talking to me because he didn't realize that the camera was on because I'm somewhere else in the house. But you can see part of this dining room set in this image. And if you look just next to Gary's shoulder, you will see the knee busters that are on the legs of this thing. Check this out. Now, do you see this giant knob? I don't think you can see the one that's there. Those suckers. Oh, we all hated having to sit at the ends. If it was a full table with this thing with both, you were fine if you were at the end because they have leaves that come out. They come out at the ends that actually inset into the table. But they've been out. This one's been out for so long. This was always Dad's end. That this end, instead of being able to slide in, the top part has curved a little bit. So I actually have underneath here, there's actually a little shim of wood that I had put in. I had taken apart a clothespin and I wedged it in there to try to slowly raise to raise it back up so that it'll work properly. But so this end didn't go. The other end went in fine, and that slid back in. But this one doesn't want to cooperate. So I got to keep working on this end. But if you had to sit at the middle of the table, because to have enough room for all 6 of us and others to sit at this table, that meant somebody was straddling or right next to one of those legs. Every one of us kids bashed our knees on that sucker. Oh man. Kindergarten would, I don't know if kindergarten would have been a class photo, because I don't remember seeing one for kindergarten. Somewhere I have a class photo for, I know, 5th grade. Oh, yep, thumbs up. What do we got for thumbs up? Well, that ain't right. This still says 4, but I know that's wrong. I'm not going to try to refresh because I'm not sure how well that's going to go. Who is this teeny little baby? Nothing on the back. No idea. Teeny little baby. Looks like a glass bottle, though. Oh, another picture of Roy. Definitely looking very much. Oh, picture. My grandparents always had poodles. I think the last one was Alfie, who was a nasty little bit everybody. Oh, these are Annie Ellen's kids. Because that has to be, because Diane, it looks like Diane in the middle. Oh, and it says it. Jeffrey, Diane, and Bruce Basner, 1959. I should send that to Annie Ellen. Who remembers when, if you got a picture with your kid from Santa, they put it in a really cool looking little folder? Isn't that neat looking? Isn't that awesome? My cousin Tom and Michiko and Uncle Bert's kid. I have no idea. I've lost track of where Tom is. His younger brother is down in, that's another one of Tom. But his younger brother is down in Texas. I'd hope to someday get down there to see him. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Let's see. We've got more pictures of little kids. Oh, that's Annie Ellen, graduating high school. She's the one with all the hair over on the end. Oh my goodness, Stevie. So this is the oldest of us. This was Steve. Before they knew he needed glasses. Come on, where's the fun pictures? Here's the other problem with going through old photos is, I hope the pictures are in here, but sometimes I have found literally just negatives. No idea what the photos were, just negatives. Oh, these are in here. This must have been a bridal shower for one of the cousins, because that's Nanny and a cousin. That's not Diane or Sandra, so I'm guessing that's the in-law coming in to Annie Ellen's family. But I can't remember which one. They're all older than I am, so that was a problem. in that the nearest one was Sandra, and Sandy was a couple of years older than me. So the older kids all grew up together. They actually lived just a few doors down the street from each other over on West 21st Street here in Chester. So, the kids all grew up together, but, not, I kind of missed out on all that. So, stuff happens. Big families, though, are definitely interesting challenges in so many ways. We got any more old ones? Who are you? I guess they're standing in front of a garden. I'll have to look at this with a magnifier. That might be Annie Owl in the middle, but it's kind of fading. Not a lot, but they're far enough away. I can't really tell who they are. This might still be in the house. This little sailor suit. I think that's still here. I think that's in the attic. And there's pictures of my cousins. I guess somebody was on vacation in Canada. The year on the back says it was a Kodacolor print the week of September 18, 1950. So somebody went to Canada on vacation at some point. And there looks like there's more letters from Japan. Like I said, there's so much in this bag. We're not going to get through all of it. I wish they'd written on the back because, I don't know who any of these people are. They're in some basement drinking beer. I know Trisha on Sandy and Otto does a sale. They do a thing where they sell old photos and stuff. So I might be taking some of these ones that aren't relatives and that I can't figure out who they are, and passing them along in a sale at some point. Okay, so in Norwood, this is a picture of my mother. In Norwood, they have a 4th of July parade every year. As kids, we would go up there and sit on the step because it would go right down Amos Land Road. And that's where my great grandparents' house was, and where Annie Allen and Annie Floss, my great aunts, they had the family house. And so, we would go up there and it was expected. And I know the older kids actually used to ride in the parade. That you would decorate your bicycle. There was a best costume thing. And this is like in many a small town all across the country. That was a big thing to have these parades. Well, they used to go out of their way using crepe paper to make costumes to wear for the kids. There would be a contest for the kids for best costume, and it would never be like now it'd be all store bought, but it was kind of expected that you would buy the big things of crepe paper and create something. Well, this was my mother's. The dress is all crepe paper, but wait till you see. She looks like one of the mummers from the Mummers Parade. Isn't that wild? That is wild. And it just, that is a trip. And it's all folded under. I don't know how. I don't see her arms anywhere. So her arms must be holding it up. But hello, Maria. Hi, PC. Now, this is I think this picture might be, because I can't see the boy very well, but I think this might be my mom, her sister, and their little brother. The bathing suits. Because he's young, he's still alive. Annie Ellen's still alive, though. Annie Ellen's quite up there in age because when Mom passed away, she was 77. So they're all in their 80s now. But I know Uncle Bert was a good bit younger. Here's an outfit that might have been for Halloween because Mom, as a kid, had that little page boy hair in the 30s. All done up as a little Dutch boy carrying water. That's cool. They used to have a Halloween parade too, where the kids would all come during the day. It'd be during the day, and they would have their parade, and they'd come in their costume, and I think costumes were a lot more fun when you had to figure out and make them on your own. I don't know who this is. Well, I would not be standing on a rocky outcrop. Look at the ledge they're standing on, can't be more than a foot wide. Seriously, I can see where their feet are, and it can't be more than a foot wide. I would not. I just would not. That would not be happening. No. No way would I be doing that. No way. Okay. If y'all have been with me for a long time, I talked about the massive salt and pepper collection that was my Lord, how many pictures are there of it was started by my great grandmother and continued a lot through my great aunt, through Annie Foss. Well, wow. Are there more? I mean, I just reached in and grabbed. Because, like I said, I found these on the floor. They were all jumbled up. The cats had knocked the thing over. Okay, I got to stand up for this. And then I'm probably going to go. Let's end the night on this. Now, some of these are a little blurry. I remember all of these because I was allowed to actually go help dust them once in a while. They were in cabinets everywhere. But at some point, somebody took photos. Where's that camera? Okay, now this one's a little blurry. These are all vintage salt and pepper shakers. This next one, they're all people. All people. This one is all animals. These are all animals. All animals. Looks like this next one is all glass. All glass. When we had to pack them up, when Annie Floss died, I stopped counting when I got to like 200 or 300, and that's just what I packed. These look like they're all fish. This has, well, some of the top ones in this picture, if I remember right, are wooden, but down at the bottom is porcelain. There's eggs, there's Wine bottles. Okay, here's another one. It's all people, but these are different, I think. Yeah, this one's different. These are different people than the last one. This one actually has some Native Americans on the bottom row. There were a lot of people ones. A lot of people ones. And now we have the fruit and vegetable collection. Oh, I own this one. Okay, this one's cool. So this is everything that has some kind of tray, right? Up here, this one right there. That is the lady coming out of the carriage, and she has two footmen. I have that one. If you see the video of when I did my china closet, you will see that one in all its wonderful color because it's in my china closet. Oh, this one's a repeat. That one's more of the fruit. It's a shame this one is blurry. I tried to get up close, and that one's all blurry. Now, this is up close, and I wish I had these, and I didn't keep these. These are all glass ones, but if you look in the center is a really cool pair of blown glass penguins. I really wish I had kept them, but I don't think I got the chance. But I didn't know these pictures existed. I did not know these existed. Oh, wow. I mean, that collection was massive. There was a built-in china closet in the corner of the dining room, and extra plate glass shelves had been installed in it. The shelves were literally set, most of them were only set like 5 inches apart because it was so stuffed with salt and pepper shakers. There was no space to be seen on those shelves. They were packed in there so tight. Then there was a china closet at the one end of the dining room, and that had the blue willow pattern dish set that was my great grandmother's dishes, which I have, which are all packed in the attic. And but even if there was any space in that, it was full. There were salt and pepper shakers on top of the pile of plates. They were interspersed in, and there were salt and pepper shakers in that. Then there was another china closet, which is the one I have in my bedroom, that was in the opposite corner of the and it has the little pieces in there for plate glass, and I do have the plate glass shelves that my uncle put in and very carefully put in screwed in little wooden holders for it, but that has plate glass shelves that can go back into it if I so chose. That would only make it like they're again spaced out like this, but the plate glass was so that you could actually still see through the glass and look under it. But it was packed, absolutely packed with salt and pepper shakers. That big china closet was packed with it. I couldn't take the one that the dishes came out of because that went to the dining room set, and that dining room set, a gorgeous dining room set, was being left there for my brother David and his wife and kids because they were moving in. Sadly, I don't know whatever happened to that set. I love that set. That was gorgeous, but I couldn't inherit that. I can only inherit what I could fit in my room, according to my father. So I made space for that china closet to fit in my room. So I got the one that held all the salt and pepper shakers. Now, that was just in the dining room. In the living room was what they call a lawyer's cabinet with the glass doors that go up and slide into the top. And that had all of the silver, a lot of sterling, and a lot of cut glass. That had a lot of the more expensive, high-end kind of salt and pepper shakers in it. And sadly, there was a theft at one point. Somebody got in the house, and a lot of the sterling disappeared from that case. Um, but that was in that room, and there were some in the kitchen too. There were some on some curio shelf kind of things in the kitchen. Most of them were all in those things, and you'd be amazed how many. And that built-in the china closet I talked about that was a built-in dish cabinet, when you opened the door, the shelves below the door that were not visible because the door only had glass like so far up and to the top. Um, there were more under there. There were more salt and pepper shakers in there. So yeah. I remember as a very little girl, every so often they'd clean everything out, and they would rearrange what was in there, and everything would be laid out, and you'd take a damp cloth and give everything a wipe down, and then it would all be put back in, but it would all be rearranged. And this only happened maybe not every year. And I remember finally being old enough to be allowed to help to do that. And I think I was 10 before I was allowed to help do that, because this was Mama's collection and Annie Foss's collection. So, wow. Yeah, and it was, I see these books, and I have a couple of books on salt and pepper collecting, and none of them are as old as the stuff I see that I saw growing up. Most of the salt and pepper collection books I've seen, they have stuff that is post World War II. Most of it's from the 1950s when it was, but this is a collection. There were stuff from the sesquicentennial of the country in Philadelphia. There was stuff from 1876 because my grandparents went to the celebration. They went to Philadelphia. He had fought in the Civil War, or his father had fought in the Civil War. They went to those celebrations. And so there was stuff from 1876 on up in that collection. So there was some fantastic stuff. And there was some early stuff from prior to World War II. And I've never seen any of the books have anything that old. Most of the stuff is from the 50s. You rarely see, they might have a page or two where it's like the Art Deco stuff from the 20s, but not a lot of them. Not a lot of the collecting books have that stuff in there because you so rarely find it. You so rarely find that old stuff. And you so rarely find the big sets like that picture I tried to show you, where it shows the one that's the whole set, where it's salt, pepper, and a mustard pot, where it's that big 3-piece kind of set. You just don't. I've never seen those big figural sets in any of the collecting books I've managed to get my hands on. So those are rare finds. And even on eBay, I rarely have ever come across those. And I look every once in a while because I'd like to get an idea what the value is for my lady coming out of the carriage with the 2 footmen, what my shepherd sitting on the stump with the dog and the sheep and the one little sheep. I'd love to know what they're worth because it's a salt and pepper and a mustard pot. And I don't know what their value is because I've never seen them anywhere else other than, and those are just the 2 I was allowed because there were so many of those and everybody got to pick, but you were only allowed to have 2 of those figural ones. Actually, I think we were all only allowed 1. I happen to have 2 because 1 was Mom's. But no, so everybody got one and everybody had the chance to pick salt and pepper shaker sets. And even then we still, this is in the days before eBay. We were selling them all for $5 a pair at flea markets and yard sales. And now it's like, if I had all that stuff now, I wouldn't have to worry about paying for a new roof on the house. I'd have the money to do it with that kind of set collection. But pre-eBay, there was a lot of stuff, you did what you had to with it, and you shouldn't worry about it because there was no other outlet. When the internet exploded the collectibles and the vintage market simply by the fact that suddenly you could find stuff. And then when eBay hit, that massively exploded because you suddenly could get stuff to collectors who were all over the US, as long as they had an internet connection. Can't talk right. So it is 1:22. We've been on since 11. My phone's gonna die. That one is still surprisingly at 75%. That's fantastic. This one is about to die. This is the one I'm reading the chat on. But I also have to get up early tomorrow and start doing this all over again. Because while I have Michael, then he's got to help me in the playroom with that, because some of that is boxes of books, which are going to be quite heavy. And I'm going to have him help me. There's a closet on the third floor landing, not on the landing, but up on the third floor, and that's going to take some rearranging, and then there'll probably be some space in there. So he'll have to help me with that. So he doesn't want me to oversleep and not be up until 11 in the morning. So my alarm's already set for 9. One alarm will go off at 8:30, and another alarm will go off at 9. So I should get my back to bed and rest. Oh, Iris books, yeah. Some of them they'll have to be another drop sale of books. We went through some of those. When we get all this stuff from Paul, there are going to be a lot of boxes of books, a lot of boxes of fabric. I had started doing work with me, and I think we only had 2 where we did work with me in the playroom, going through some of the stuff we had already brought back from Philly Flipper's warehouse. There will be more of those, but we got to make space now for all of it to come back. And Lord help me, we're going to do it all in one day when it comes. We'll see what happens that day. So don't worry. There will be a sale. 7:25 a.m. there, huh? Oh. So next week will be the sale. I will have the girly candles. I will have some ephemera. I'll have those pages that I managed to salvage from the 1957 encyclopedia. I only had that one book, and that had issues down the spine and water damage at the front end and the back end. So I was able to salvage some stuff which might be usable for ephemera for you guys. And I'm going to go and take something for my back and go to bed. Take some Tylenol, and Aragorn is asleep like this. His nose must be cold. He's got it covered with his arm. And what do we got? Arwen and Gimli are up here on the ottomans, and yeah, so we did good. I mean, we're in here. This is great. I have a plan. So in the morning, I also will clean this end off. I'll pack these photos up, get them off the table. So hopefully we can get that over onto the table. That gives me access to it. It needs to get cleaned out, dusted. I need to get my stuff out of it. I need to get all the other stuff cleaned and boxed up, so that hopefully next week my sister can come and take it. And but then that gives us the top of the server to put a couple of some boxes up on there, and any little cubby hole I can find, because a 6-foot by 6-foot 7-foot high pile of boxes is not all going to fit in the playroom. But I refuse to have any of it end up back in the Black Hole Challenge room, because that to me would be a step backwards. And we are going to have me have an office by the end of this summer. Absolutely. I'm not going to say before the summer because I don't think it'd be awesome, but I just don't see that as being reasonable expectation. But by the end of the summer, I think that's a reasonable expectation to have me in there, or at least have it empty to where we're painting the walls. So I will see you guys next Thursday or Sunday. It depends. Honestly, I would love to do another work with me next Sunday, but it honestly depends on how much space is left to move in the playroom. We'll see what happens for next Sunday. But yeah, and I thought I was going to do a drop sale this week, but not if we're moving all that stuff from Philly Flipper. There just won't be time. So I will see you guys next week, and I hope you have an awesome weekend. A lot of places had rain whip across. We did not so far. I mean, the street's a little wet, but we were supposed to have heavy rain hit at 11 o'clock and thunderstorm go by. And I think it went north of us and probably hit Philly because I could hear it dripping in the upstairs hallway into the thing for a little bit when we first started, but we didn't get anywhere near what I shouldn't say that too loudly, what we were supposed to. So I'm quite thankful for that because I'm not looking forward to staying up all night because if there's thunderstorm, well, then I have to open up my bedroom door to cats or they will sit outside my door and cry because three of them still are very, very nervous. I would say one of them, Mr. Aragorn, is the loudest and most vocal when there's a thunderstorm because he's scared. He's flat. He will come in. I've had dogs do that, but never a cat. There's a thunderstorm, that poor little guy will be shaking like a leaf and he will want to curl up and he curls up under the blanket with you during a thunderstorm because he's just so frightened. The others, they don't really, they're not thrilled with the noise, but they're not panicking. He's panicking. So luckily we didn't have that tonight. Iris, do you sell? Iris, I didn't know you sold stuff. What do you want to sell with me? Because we could do a theme sale, or we could do a vintage sale, or a fabric sale, or a book sale. Not necessarily a glass sale, because I didn't inherit any cool glass. Books, oh, yeah. I will keep that in mind, girl. We can do that. We can definitely do that. We can absolutely have a book sale together. So, yeah, I've started eyeing stuff up going, you know what? Here's a pattern book. Am I ever really going to use this? I've got a lot of pattern like quilting magazines too that I kept because they had patterns in them, and most of them are from like the 90s. And I looked at a couple of them in my own bedroom and went, yeah, I'm not really ever going to make these. So, absolutely, Iris. Absolutely. We will figure out a date. If I don't write it down, I will forget. Now, I know I had told Lisa at Flippin' Crazy we're going to get together because she's got vintage stuff. She's not just jewelry anymore. Because I never knew it. All this time she's had that channel and she's sold great jewelry. She's had vintage stuff at an antique booth in an antique mall. So she started doing, some of the vintage stuff on her channel now. So I want to get together with her hopefully this month and we'll do a vintage sale or a jewelry sale. I'm not sure which, but we'll have, and she wants to try to come on to my channel, and then I'll try to go on hers. But hers, she has a lot of her sales during the day, and she has, I think, 2 back-to-back sales she does on Thursdays. So for her to come on my channel on a Thursday night is going to take some planning. But Iris wants to come on for a book sale to sell, and we're going to make that happen. I'm going to try to get that done for the end of the month, maybe. We'll figure out when, and we'll have one. So, okay. So we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. First, I got to deal with making space for all his stuff from Philly Flipper to come back. It's all my stuff, but he, bless his heart, has let it be in a corner. He had plenty of space. It was never in his way, bless his heart. So he let it stay for a long while. Well, hi, princess. And after I got hurt, but now he's moving. So what are you doing? Come here. Come here. Nobody's seen you since the kittens came. Hi, doctor. Hi, baby. Hi, sweetie. You want to come up? No? You want to sniff everything. This is the doctor. You want to come up? No? Oh, you don't have room. Here you go. You can jump down if you want. Doctor is now soon to be 10 years old. There she goes. She's you guys haven't been able to see her on screen since the kittens came in the house. So it's been what, 9? They're 9 months old now. So you guys haven't seen the doctor in 6 or 7 months because she would just hide. So she just came out from wherever her little cubby hole is in the pile of boxes and stuff. And I'm surprised there was no fussing, considering that Aragorn is right there. So, wow. Yeah, is she beautiful? She's absolutely beautiful. She has a little tiny, when I kept her because she was the one that was all black as a kitten. And I thought, great, I finally have a black cat. No, I didn't. She ended up with this tiny, first it was the size of a dime. Now it's the size of a nickel of white fur on her chest. But I've noticed as she's gotten older, on her left shoulder on the back, there's a tiny little spot that has come in now. That's only come in the last year, of little white hairs, little teeny spot. So she's 10, so she's gonna start getting little white hairs, because some cats will start doing that. They'll show some gray hairs coming in. So she's got a little spot on her shoulder, which is good because Gimli is just about as big as she is already, because he's a pig. Yeah, I see you. I said piggy, and your like eyes opened up. Um, he was a problem and was nuzzling the others. He'd push them out of the way and eat their food. So yeah, she's gorgeous. She's my girl. She is my girl, and she's finally settling down and recognizing that, well, I guess if they're here this long, they're not leaving. There's still some issues. Aragorn tries to follow her and smack her in the head because he thinks it's play. She thinks it's aggression. This idiot up here, Gimli, likes to fight with her. He likes to stalk her. He likes to challenge her for her food. He's an idiot. He's trying to be the alpha male, and she's had there's no biting, there's no claws, there's been no wounding of each other, there's been no wounding of any of them. But She's very good in that. In that when she smacks him in the head and the claws stay sheathed, which is fantastic. But Gimli is always pushing that envelope. And he pushed it too hard and actually fell on her off of the kitchen chair. And she moved so fast that I blinked and missed it because he landed and I blinked, and that quick, she had him on his back with one paw on top of him, hissing in his face. And I think he'll stop stalking her for a while because she finally had. And I used to tell her, when they were real little, no fighting. It's okay, no fighting. So she hasn't really fought with him. But lately, because he's been such a jerk, Gimli's been such a jerk to her, we've been telling her, go ahead, it's okay. It's okay. Get him, fight him, play with him, fight him. So she finally did. I think she's finally got him to understand there are boundaries and you're not going to jump on me like you do your brothers. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing. So, all right. I heard a little bell. Arwen's up. The only reason Gimli still has his collar on is we did finally figure it out. Michael figured it out. He took the bell off of Gimli's collar, and he's had the collar on. We found it off once over the weekend, and I put it right back on. He hasn't fussed with it again since it took the bell off of it. So for him, he just hated the bell. So, yep, finally fed up with his crap and put him in his place. It was really funny. So that's a good thing. But Arwen wants to be her friend. She doesn't want to be Arwen's friend. She does not tend to like other female cats. And Aragorn wants to play with her. So he goes up and he tries to nudge her. He goes up and he, tries to pat her. Now she sees a paw come up. She thinks it's aggression, and she just, they'll figure it out eventually. She now comes out to eat when they eat. Sometimes she'll come over and eat with them, as long as with them means she's eating the dry food while they're eating the wet food over here. So they're never closer than 2 feet apart. But that's such progress. I'll take it. That is great progress. So have a good night, everybody. And I will, back tinge. You know what? I'm leaning forward. Can't do that. My back is tired. Can't lean that little tilt forward. So I will probably, we'll see if there will be a work with me on Sunday, as I said. And if not, definitely will be there Thursday night at 11 p.m. because that will be live sale night. And anybody looking for an invoice, don't look for one until after Tuesday, because that's just not going to happen, because the focus has to be getting this stuff here. Since it's going to be all done in one shot, there has to be room. There can't not be enough room. It has to all come one day. Mike's renting a van, a U-Haul van, to get it here. It's going to take us, I think, 3 trips. But maybe 4. But that's got to be the focus, is to get all that stuff here. And then once it's here, then on Wednesday, I'll be able to start packing and invoicing again. But until then, I got to focus. I got my list, bullet points. Make your list. Make your list. Break it up. Small goals. You have the big goal, and you have the steps to get there. And small projects, small steps, as long as they're aiming for that big goal, that's good. Like I said, even if it's just one thing for the day, if that's all you can do that one thing. Get that one step closer to your goal. You can do it. And for me, we're in this together. You guys are my cheerleading squad for me. And I will be your cheerleader for you. Okay, I will see you guys next week on Thursday, if not sooner. Now I got to get up. My back's beginning to get stiff. Oi, oi, oi. Yeah, back is stiff. So, bye guys.